That Easter Sunday, my wife left me and our 3 young sons to follow her lover. I used to love Easter. For 12 years, it meant early morning laughter, chocolate-stained fingers, and the sound of our 3 boys racing through the backyard looking for eggs. It meant my wife, Hannah, standing in the kitchen in a pastel dress, pretending to scold them while secretly sneaking them extra candy. That was before Easter became the day my family broke. That Sunday started like every other holiday. The boys, Ethan, 10, Caleb, 7, and little Mason, only 4, were already awake before sunrise. They piled into our bed, bouncing and shouting about the Easter bunny. Hannah smiled, but something about it felt distant, forced. I noticed it, but I ignored it. For months she had been different, guarded with her phone, distracted at dinner, late errands that stretched into hours. I asked her once if something was wrong. "I just need space," she said. "You're overthinking." So I stopped asking. That morning we went to church as a family. She sat beside me, but her body felt miles away. She barely held my hand, barely looked at me. When the pastor spoke about renewal and forgiveness, I glanced at her. She was staring at her phone. After church, we came home for dinner. My parents were coming over later. The boys were running through the yard, laughing, chasing each other with plastic eggs. And that's when everything changed. Hannah walked into the living room, still holding her phone. Her face looked pale but determined. "I need to talk to you," she said. The tone made my stomach drop. The boys were outside. The house felt suddenly quiet. Too quiet. "What's going on?" I asked. She took a deep breath. "I'm leaving." I laughed at first. Not because it was funny, but because my brain refused to process it. "Leaving for where?" She didn't blink. "I'm leaving you. I'm leaving this marriage." The words hit like a physical blow. "What are you talking about? Hannah, it's Easter. The kids are outside." "I know," she said. "And that's why I need to do this now. I can't pretend anymore." Pretend. The word echoed in my ears. "Is there someone else?" I asked, even though deep down I already knew. She hesitated just long enough to confirm it. "Yes." My chest tightened so hard I could barely breathe. "For how long?" 8 months. 8 months. 8 months of shared dinners. 8 months of bedtime stories. 8 months of lying in the same bed. "Who is he?" I asked. "You don't know him." That was the only mercy she gave me. "I love him," she continued. "I didn't mean for it to happen, but it did. And I can't live a lie anymore." I felt like the room was spinning. "And our sons?" I whispered. "What about Ethan, Caleb, Mason?" Her jaw tightened. "They'll adjust." Adjust. As if they were switching schools. As if this was a minor inconvenience. "You're their mother," I said. "They worship you." Tears filled her eyes, but they didn't fall. "I'm not happy here." The sentence felt rehearsed, practiced. "And you think abandoning them will make you happy?" "I'm not abandoning them. I need to live for myself for once." Live for herself. While our 4-year-old still needed help tying his shoes. Outside, the boys were laughing. Mason shouted, "Daddy, I found one!" And in that moment, I realized something that made the pain even worse. She had already left us long before this conversation. "Is he waiting?" I asked quietly. She didn't answer. That was answer enough. I walked to the window and saw it. A car parked across the street, engine running. My hands started shaking. "You planned this?" I said. "I had to." "For how long?" "A few weeks. A few weeks of smiling at our children while preparing to walk away from them." I felt something inside me break. "Go," I said finally. She looked surprised. "You're not going to stop me?" I stared at her. "You already left." For a moment, I thought she might change her mind. That she might run outside and scoop up our boys and apologize and say she'd made a mistake. Instead, she picked up her suitcase from behind the couch. She had packed it earlier. While I was hiding Easter eggs, the front door opened. The boys rushed inside, breathless and smiling. "Mom, look what we got!" They stopped when they saw the suitcase. Ethan, the oldest, understood first. "Mom?" he said slowly. Hannah knelt down, her voice trembling now. Mommy needs to go away for a while. Caleb frowned. Like a trip? Something like that. Mason ran to her and wrapped his tiny arms around her legs. Don't go. That was the moment I thought she would break. But she gently untangled his arms. I love you, she said. Ethan's face hardened. Is this because of another guy? Silence. He looked at me. I didn't know what to say. That silence answered him. I hate you, he whispered to her. The words sliced through the room. Hannah flinched, but she stood up. I'm sorry, she said to all of us. And then she walked out the door, just like that. The car across the street pulled away seconds later. The boys stood frozen in the doorway. Mason started crying first, then Caleb. Ethan didn't cry. He just stared down the street long after the car disappeared. That Easter dinner never happened. I called my parents and told them not to come. That night, I tucked 3 devastated boys into bed alone. Mason asked when Mommy was coming home. I don't know, I said honestly. Ethan didn't speak at all. After they fell asleep, I sat in the living room in the dark. The house felt hollow. I kept replaying the day in my mind, the church service, the smiles, the hidden suitcase. How do you walk away from your children? That question haunted me for months. The divorce papers came quickly. She moved in with him immediately. She asked for shared custody, but the boys didn't want to go at first, especially Ethan. He refused to see her for nearly a year. Holidays became complicated. Birthdays became tense. Mother's Day became painful. But something unexpected happened. We grew stronger. The boys and I built new traditions. We burned pancakes together. We took messy camping trips. We talked, really talked, about anger, betrayal, and love. I didn't poison them against her. As much as I was hurting, I refused to turn them into weapons. But I also didn't lie. They knew the truth. 2 years later, I ran into Hannah at a school event. She looked older, tired. The excitement she once had was gone. Her relationship with her lover had already ended. Grass isn't always greener. She tried to talk to me privately. I made a mistake, she said quietly. I looked at my sons across the playground, laughing, growing, healing. You didn't just leave me, I said. You left them. She started to cry then. But some choices can't be undone. Easter still comes every year. We still hide eggs. But now, when the boys wake me up at sunrise, there's no hollow feeling in my chest. There's peace. Because that Easter Sunday didn't just break my family. It revealed who was willing to stay and who was willing to walk away.